Hi, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. It's great to see you again. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 1.41% to 60,525. Ethereum up 2.78% to 42.99. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Rule 138, all investors become traders whenever they buy or sell. Traders must have emotional mastery, and so must investors too. It's really, really important. It can be easy to buy, but very difficult to sell. That's why Rule 774 is so important. Master yourself to master the market. As a community, we focus on real wealth, such as inner and outer peace, kindness, authenticity, purpose, courage and honor, fearlessness, generosity, empathy and love, as well as money. You can have it all. Having it all starts with the understanding and the absolute undeniable belief that you are worthy and unique, that you deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. Without this understanding, you will be prone to self-sabotage and self-doubt. In the financial markets, that can cost you a fortune. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. This is critical to understand. When we look at Bitcoin, we're looking at the health of the crypto industry. Bitcoin is currently trading at 60,631. If we look at Bitcoin's target price analysis, what we can see is the next target above is 61,897. The next target below is 55,590. Now, what is happening in the market and what do we need to look at? There is a very strong upward support line here, which will coincide around the 55,590 mark. The thing to bear in mind, there are a couple of issues inside the market. We never panic about issues inside the market. There are always issues inside the market, but we do require awareness of them. When we understand what's happening, we don't do a light switch. We don't suffer the all in, all out light switch effect. We do the dimmer. We gradually scale in and gradually scale out of different things. What we see is Bitcoin is currently under resistance. We've seen sell-offs like this before. What we're really seeing is when Bitcoin gets above this resistance, we're in the bull market phase of the bull market, the psychological sunshine. We expect this resistance to be overcome and much higher prices. However, getting Bitcoin cheaper and getting your cryptos more cheaply is exactly what you should be looking for. What could potentially happen is that there are three issues in the market at the moment. They could literally push the price down, but when you understand them better, it's a little bit different. The most important thing is don't panic. Just trade the chart that we view. Be aware of positive and negative risks. Have an upside and a downside risk management strategy in play at all times. What does that mean really? If price comes over this particular resistance, if it repairs and it shoots up exponentially, what will you do? If it breaks down and goes to 50,000, what will you do? You need to have that risk management strategy in play before price moves for you or against you. And if you know what you're doing, everything becomes much easier. We need to talk about the MtGox remediation. We need to talk about the debt ceiling and also Evergrande. As always, we don't panic. Just because there's potential negative news in the market doesn't mean we turn around and just say, oh, I'm selling everything, I'm out. You don't need to do that. It's really just being aware. Also, if you have an investor's mindset and you're seeking to hold for the long term, that can be a really good thing to do to ride out these particular waves. But let's look more deeply, starting with MtGox. There's a lot of background behind MtGox that we've gone through in previous episodes. One thing to keep a note of, MtGox reserves are 137,890.9803 Bitcoin, When this starts to come down, we know remediation is in flight. If it doesn't come down, we know that things are being stalled. I'd like to thank Martin for putting me onto this article. It's a really fantastic article. It's the MtGox payout guide and calculator. What you'll see, I'll just blow this up a bit. That's better. What you will see is this article is a really long article. It goes through the intricacies, the different types of claimants, the different concepts as to how rehabilitation will occur, how small lump sum payments will be split across various holders, and there's a lot of detail in this article. What I want to take you down to, I just might use the page down. There is so much in here. I've read all of this. I find it really fantastic information. Thank you, Martin. And I love it when people spread information this way as well. It's really, really good thing. Now, let's say, for example, there's a calculator on this side. It's fantastic. Let's say you had 1 Bitcoin. If you had 1 Bitcoin when MtGox went down, you would expect, say, 1 Bitcoin back. That's what a lot of people are being told in the media. Let's see if that's actually real. And there's a whole lot of issues here. If there's been several claims for bankruptcy and other things, I'll let you read the article. Let's have a look at the basic end result. Say we're wanting an early lump sum payment, and that concept is quite important because there's some moving dynamics in this particular case which could result in people not getting anything really. You would get $9,000 US. So if we look at the $60,000 price of Bitcoin right now, you're looking, if you had 1 Bitcoin back in the days that MtGox got hacked, you would have $9,000 payout. A lot of the media is suggesting that you would get the full Bitcoin. We can see this is just not simply the case. There's a lot of moving parts in this particular story, and they will unfold. I'll show you something else that a really wonderful community member shared on Twitter. This is a MtGox thread from BitGecko. Really interesting. He's basically saying that he was one of the victims, but he's not yet informed. And a lot of this information is about he's not in the rehabilitation plan. He's got no information. It's really incredible. You think about the person that is affected is not being told what is going on. And it is also, there's a lot of fluff floating around the internet at the moment about MtGox and what it means. In the past episode, we said that potentially this will extend into 2022, and the more we dig into this story, the more is coming out that's going against mainstream media's take on it. Mainstream media is very sensationalistic. It loves to get your eyes on their articles so the advertisers can sell whatever they want to you. When we dig deeper, we can see very different things occurring. So what does this really mean? Does it mean that $9 billion in Bitcoin is going to hit the market in a day's time, or a little over a day's time? Not quite. This is still to be decided. This is in all likelihood going to drag out until 2022. And if you think about that, we are told through the media, through the sensationalistic representation of fact, through media analysts, that MtGox will result in $9 billion of Bitcoin flooding the market. This is potentially why price may have come down. There's so many things that cause price to wobble around, and you can see Bitcoin has done very well. It's gone up incredibly well. This is just a normal retracement in effect. And it's actually really healthy. The market was getting a little bit overheated, which means that upward price momentum can get stalled and reverse violently. Having corrections like this, it's not really a correction, it's just a down wave in price, is really, really good. Now we need to discuss the debt ceiling that's coming into effect, well, to be decided on December the 3rd. Janet Yellen is saying by December 15th, the federal government could be unable to pay its debts. And this is all about the debt ceiling. She wants it raised or suspended as soon as possible. There's a thought that the $1 trillion infrastructure bill could leave the Treasury short on cash. And private analysts have said that December 15 is the X date. The X date is when the government will run out of money if the debt ceiling is not lifted or suspended. But private analysts have been saying that it could be from mid-December to mid-February. Perhaps. There's a lot of moving parts. Basically, the debt ceiling is the $28.8 trillion borrowing limit set by Congress. It doesn't allow or authorize new spending, it's just paying of debt, existing debt. If the debt ceiling isn't addressed and the Treasury available funds decrease, the department could be forced to suspend certain payments or place higher priority on the timing of others. What does that mean? If the Treasury was forced to delay interest payments on debt, it could potentially constitute default and push the economy into recession. That's the critical thing. Back in October, we were talking about the debt ceiling, and they increased it by about $500 billion, and they're out of time again. It just shows you that they just kick the can down the road. Mitch McConnell said, we'll figure out how to avoid default, we always do. And that's very, very true. This is always going on. But it's interesting. Sometimes it actually gets pretty close. In 2011, Standard & Poor's stripped the US of its AAA credit rating for the first time when Treasury came within days of being able to pay certain benefits. This is on all the time. Personally, I have absolutely no doubt that the debt ceiling issue will be addressed, but expect turbulence in the markets. It's just politicians doing what politicians do. They want certain things and they're very happy to hold the economy hostage in between to get them. It's just the way, unfortunately, government works. This is a really great site. It's the usdebtclock.org. US national debt, we can see it's above that 28.88 trillion if this estimate is correct, and I don't deny it would be correct. What we're seeing at the moment, the US economy, and actually all economies throughout the world, they're overburdened with debt. They use debt to grow, to increase GDP. Returning to our analysis, we can see the debt ceiling, December the 3rd. We anticipate that this will pass, but we would expect some degree of turbulence. What about MtGox? Some degree of turbulence, mainly because of a lot of misinformation in the media. December the 3rd, debt ceiling problems, that's in about 15 days. Yes, of course, it's going to happen. There's going to be turbulence. The one to keep our eye on is the Evergrande crisis. Now, the Evergrande is about the indebted Chinese property developer, Evergrande, but Evergrande is just the poster child for the Chinese property market. There are a lot of players, not just Evergrande. We've got Fantasia Holdings, Greenland Holdings, Country Garden, and Vanke. Combined, they've got $920.11 billion in net debt. That's net debt, not just debt, net. And they make sales of $2.15 trillion. You can see how important, vitally important, the property sector is to the Chinese economy. And that's for a wide variety of reasons. With the Evergrande crisis, you can see Evergrande is this blue line. Look at its stock price. It's absolutely plummeted from about $31 in October 17 to just now $2.80. It just shows you how important paying the debts are. But there's a lot of reasons, culturally and otherwise, why these companies are going through this process. We're looking at this price action. If this price action continues to plummet, we will know there are problems. If it starts to repair, if prices start to go up, we'll feel much better about what is happening. That will mean that the Chinese government has stepped in, the CCP, and said they don't want their economy to fail, because it will fail if these guys go down. It will drag China down with it. That would be incredibly unfortunate. Coming back to Bitcoin, we've talked about MtGox, and we've seen that it's not quite as it's being portrayed in the media. Haha, surprise, surprise. The debt ceiling, we know this is going to be resolved. It always gets resolved, but that doesn't mean there won't be turbulence. When we look at the Evergrande issue, that is a more systemic issue. But if the CCP lets the Chinese property market fail, oh my goodness, that would not be very good for the CCP. The Chinese people totally believe in property. They live and breathe property. Another way we can triangulate how the main markets are faring is to look through the S&P 500, the stock market. It's up 31% for the past year. We can see gold has turned around a lot, over negative 10% down. It's just nearly at 0% down. Good on you, gold, well done. And Bitcoin was up quite a lot more than what it is now, but it's still up a healthy amount over the past year. Let's drill in a little bit more to the main markets. I hear you say, Ken, I don't want to look at the stock market or bonds. I just want to look at crypto. Crypto is fun. Stocks are boring. And bonds? What are bonds anyway? Really, what it comes down to is money sloshes all around the economic system. If we look back to November 2020, the stock markets globally were worth 95 trillion, and you know so much money has been printed since November 2020. The bond market around the same time was worth globally $128 trillion. And let's say crypto, just to make it easy, is worth around 2 trillion. We can see that the bond market and the stock market combined so outweigh the crypto market. So many people say the crypto market simply can't grow. It's absorbed all the money in the world. Not true at all. When the bond market, can you imagine if 10% of the bond market money, that's nearly 13 trillion back in August of 2020, came into the crypto market? Wow, that's pretty impressive. What about 10% of the stock market globally coming into crypto? That's some serious money. There's another thing that's really important to understand. Bonds are seen as a safe haven investment. If the stock market collapses, people go into bonds. Crypto is highly speculative. People from the stock market slosh across funds into crypto. But if things get overheated, they slosh them back into stocks, and if the stock market looks wobbly, they throw them into bonds. Ooh, money's getting thrown everywhere. But this is really important to understand the dynamic. When we look at this analysis, it will make a lot more sense. Let's start with the fear gauge of the market, which is the VIX. The VIX, you can see the fear going down, 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 down. There's not much fear in the market. That's a really good thing. When there's a lot of fear in the market, things are selling off. We don't see that. We see the absolute opposite of that. And what is the NASDAQ 100 doing? You can see recently that it's sold off. You notice the thing in the background is Bitcoin's fingerprint. I put Bitcoin's fingerprint in here so you can see associations or otherwise between various things. We can see the stock market has been rallying up. It's been doing so very strongly. Light crude oil has also been going up, but it's retracing at the moment. Here we get into the bonds. The bond prices are what we look at as a recessionary indicator. They're under resistance at the moment. There is no flight to safety right now. And when there's no flight to safety, bondholders require more yield, and the yields go up. So these two charts are inversely related. You can also see how well bond yields and Bitcoin's price correlate with each other. Pretty cool stuff. We can see also that gold is making its way up. Gold is often classified as a safe haven asset. When wars and disease breaks out, gold tends to rally. And we can see the DXY, the US dollar currency index. What do we notice about this? Bitcoin went up. What did the dollar do? It went up. Bitcoin came down. What did the dollar do? It came down. The dollar went up. Bitcoin came up. You'll see so many stories in the press. The DXY went up. Bitcoin must come down. Oh, gee, be aware. Unfortunately, there's so much fluff in the media. One day it's the dollar going up, the strong dollar is causing Bitcoin to fail, and then the next day the strong dollar is causing Bitcoin to rise. After more than 3 decades in the financial markets, you really get sick of the news and press and media outlets. They just mislead new investors. It's really heartbreaking to watch. So we can see that the markets are not really reacting negatively at the moment, but always make in advance probabilistic choices. What will you do if your beloved crypto alts just explode in price? How will you deal with that? If they implode in price, how will you deal with that? And if they go sideways and are so boring, how will you deal with that? Really, boredom is a real issue in crypto. Even though it moves really, really fast, things can get boring. It's really important to zoom out. When we look at the KSModel, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology, we can see we're in the bull market psychology of the current run. Price is being very nicely supported up here through this potential momentum. We're expecting higher prices and a minimum of 132,418 for this particular cycle. I believe it will hit 486,000, but it will do so in a long wick up. Just keep our eyes on this process. We can see that the bull markets are extending or lengthening in size. You can see the 2012 halving cycle was 367 days. The next one was actually 526 days. And if we just fitted this 2012 halving cycle in here, it would look like that. And if we fitted this 2016 halving cycle in here, it would look like that. That's why we're expecting longer. This 2016 cycle actually lasted 43% longer than the previous one. It's food for thought. I know some people are talking about this, but some people expect the bull market to end in December. There's a number of reasons why that is highly unlikely. The people saying that the bull market should finish in December are the same people that said that it should finish around the middle of October. Why was that? Because the middle of October was the duration of the past cycle. Those people overlook the fact that the cycle before the last cycle, the cycle before the 2016 halving cycle, the 2012 halving cycle, lasted a lot less than that cycle. Many people thought in 2016 that the cycle would end here, 367 days in. It actually ran 43% longer than that. I've covered this off in many past episodes, but it's just really good to come back and have a look at. Fidelity Investments, which has over $4.2 trillion of assets under management, predicts and estimates that the price per Bitcoin in 2026 will be in excess of $1 million, and by 2030 onwards in excess of $10 million. This is really good news for the industry. We can see the price is always waving up and down. It's the nature of price, but the upward momentum is built into Bitcoin's economics. If you would like to read more about the KS model, I wrote an article on May the 25th of this year and just took people through my thinking on what it was all about and what the cycles meant. And there's a little bit more to this, and I think it's really important to understand. I'll just scroll down here. One thing that you would like to keep in mind is the purpose of cryptocurrencies. Crypto is the next evolution of the internet to the internet of value. This particular chart is a technological adoption curve for the internet between 92 and 2006 and crypto. We can see we're around, in terms of relative adoption, we're around 1997, mid 1997 in terms of where the internet is. You look at the internet today, could you live without the internet? I don't think many of us could. It's just so central to everything. Cryptos will be the same. There are so many influencers out there just saying go all in and more, buy, buy, buy. And then when price pulls back, they say, oh, it's all over, sell, sell, sell. We don't do that in our community. We're very balanced. We walk the middle path. We can see, going back to the 2016 bull run, there are definitely very good advances in price, but understanding and expecting the price will go down 20, 30, 40, 50% is really, really important. If you're not psychologically prepared, you'll get shaken out of the market. Just having a quick look through the top 8, we can see Bitcoin has very nice upward support. If it came down to around 50,000, I put in an expected figure, 49,787. That would be really good and incredibly healthy. We could get a long tail rejection going all the way down. That's why I've set up my own personal 10-5-10 fund all the way down to 30,000. If we get some sort of catastrophic black swan, I'll be buying. I know where Bitcoin is going, and so all the other cryptos. They're just phenomenal. They're foundations of the next level of societal evolution. Of course, we want to lower our average buy price. When looking at Ethereum, I believe Ethereum could reasonably head back to 37.19. And we always have to have the probability, okay, what if it doesn't? What if it just finds support and just bolts off from here? We need to always have that flexibility. It's really important that as an investor or a trader, don't get too fixed on a specific mindset. Just adjust as the facts adjust. Binance Coin could potentially reach 423. And this is all aligned by what is happening relatively with Bitcoin. Solana could come back to around $200. And if it does, that's just a fantastic buying opportunity because we know Bitcoin will fix itself and start to go upwards, and all of these alts will go with it. XRP has a number of support levels below it, as does Cardano, as does DOGE. DOT reasonably could come back to 33.39, and DOGE, if it hits 2008, that would be very nice buy. I'd like to say thank you to all the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and shown their appreciation by buying me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thanks so much, everyone. I'd like to thank Lecky for your kind generosity. Isaac as well, thank you, my friend. Finally advanced to zone 3 probabilistic fearlessness. You're a legend, and beautiful to become a financial blessing to yourself and other people. Well done, Isaac. Deanne, thank you so much. Very nice comment. Dan, thank you for your comment too. Thanks for all the hard work. Once this is all over, COVID specifically, I'm going to buy you some real coffees in person. How cool would that be? Seeing other people at last. Yay, COVID. Please go away. How crypto is affecting the financial markets, the 10-5-10 fund, the masterclass. Forget the moon. Let's go to Mars, my friend. Yeah, let's get that rocket. Where is Elon when you need him? Thank you so much, Ronnie, as well. Every month, I like to show my appreciation to the very generous people who've reached out and bought me a coffee. What I do is I just put another post in here. I'll just log in and show you how to get to that. Okay, all logged in now. You just log in and you go to posts, and you will see these various posts that I just share with the coffee club as my way of saying thank you so much for your generosity. There's more on the 10-5-10 rule in here, volume integrity, and another couple of videos that are really, really valuable. It's just my way of saying thanks so much to everyone for your generosity. If you're new to the community, Isaac was talking about advancing to Zone 3, probabilistic fearlessness. Zone 3 is from KSModel analysis. These are the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 is the panic zone. It's all about FUD and FOMO, taking somebody's thought processes over. Zone 2 is the blame zone, which is all about conflict, external panic, saying, why doesn't the world agree with me? Everybody must see exactly what I see. No, they don't need to see exactly what we see. They can see whatever they want to see. It's fine. Everybody has a different perspective, and all perspectives are valid. Zone 3 is the probabilistic fearlessness zone. It's all about patience and rules. What happens in Zone 1 and 2? People are addicted to certainty, which puts them into terror because there's so many horrible things that happen in the markets all the time. Zone 3 and Zone 4 is the shift from certainty, that means it must happen 100% of the time, to probability, which is that it can happen if it wants to, but whatever happens will be there. Zone 4 is the meaning zone, with gratitude and worthiness, integrity and honor, all about self-worth, authenticity. Being authentic is one of the most beautiful things that you can ever do in your life. I spoke about the light switch effect before. This is particularly relevant to Zone 1 and Zone 2 behavior. There's not Zone 1 and Zone 2 people. It's just a progression through to Zone 4. Everybody walks the same path. Don't be concerned wherever you are. You'll get there. If you become aware and you set your targets on what you want to achieve, you will achieve those targets. Zone 1 and Zone 2 is all about wanting 100% certainty, to be 100% correct 100% of the time and not ever lose any money. No wonder people switch in and switch out of the markets. They go all in or go all out. I'm really, really against going in and going all out, because those things will just wreck you financially. Probabilistic fearlessness is the foundation of Zone 3. That's where we just turn to scaling in and scaling out of positions. The 10-5-10 fund is a really good illustration of that. We put buy prices ridiculously low with a percentage of the money, but we also layer those buy prices in back to around where the current price is. It's not just we throw them at one level and hope. We don't hope, we just use the probabilities for us. We can see that negative percentages, like what's happening right now, that's a buying opportunity. That's what professional investors and traders do. And we are all about gaining the institutional mindset through the crypto trading KS community. A number of people mentioned the masterclass that I am currently putting together. The masterclass is just awesome. The content that I put together so far is just fantastic. It will show you things that have never been revealed in public. Different ways to think, different ways to chart, different ways to look at the markets. I'm really, really happy with what I've done so far. I'm going to just put together a little bit more video content so that you can keep yourselves occupied while I bring out new content. And I'll let you know when all that is finalized. If you would like to email me at ken@kenstanfield.com, I'll lock in a very substantial masterclass discount for you. Ken Stanfield, the StanDfielD has 2 D's in it, so it's kenstanfield.com. ken@kenstanfield.com. I'd love to hear from you if you think that would help you. The 2 greatest enemies that you will ever fight in life, and especially in investing and trading, are self-sabotage and self-doubt. The reason I repeat this particular quote is that I want you to immunize yourself against those 2 very oppressive enemies. When you understand, when you take it into your heart that you are worthy and unique, you are absolutely unique. There is only ever going to be one of you in this entire world for the entire history of the planet. That makes you immediately worthy. You deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.